Okay. I call to order this meeting of the Warren County School Board for Wednesday, October 5th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is to accept or modify the agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam Chairman, I would move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Community participation. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? Consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Recognitions. VSBA Academy Awards. Mr. Drescher.
Each year, the Virginia School Board Association recognizes board members for their dedication, time, and hard work in improving boardmanship skills through VSBA meetings, conferences, board development, and training, and active involvement in the association. VSBA members earn credits for VSBA Academy Awards, which are based on participation from July 1 to June 30 of each year. So I'm happy to present those awards at this time. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That is all.
Reports. Alternative seating. Mr. Fox.
Good evening, everyone. Flexible seating. Students use active seating to combat inactivity, obesity, and other associated health issues. Students enjoy comfortable and safe chairs and stools that encourage activity and discourage sedentary behavior without distracting from educational goals. Active seating actually enhances a student's ability to engage in learning. And to talk tonight, because they have experience with flexible seating, we have a collaborative team from Warren County Middle School. Rebecca Webster, who has been with us for 11 years and has been the chairperson of our English department, and her collaborative teacher, Jackie Solenberger, who is in her second year working with Ms. Webster and her third year in Warren County Public Schools. They do everything together. They teach together, they plan together, they grade together, they are a collaborative team. And when they found out that Ms. Webster was coming to do this presentation tonight, Ms. Solenberger actually stood up and made sure that her teammate had support. So at this time, Ms. Webster and Ms. Solenberger.
Hi. How are you? Okay, so we're just going to explain what alternative seating is. It's also called flexible seating. If you look, that is a picture of our classroom when it was first set up right before the students came in at the beginning of the year. This idea kind of came up. Jackie went to a workshop last year presented by Ron Nash, who's written a book about the active classroom. And she came back and she was really excited about all of the things that she had heard about getting the kids up and moving and how it really helps them learn. So we started researching, and we found that an active classroom and flexible seating and having the kids choose where they sit and being able to move around well in the classroom shows that grades improve, students are more engaged, and they participate more, and they have better conversations. From our experience, we know that middle schoolers are still growing and they love to move, they need to move, and they're very social. So we were trying to figure out a way to make our classroom conducive to that movement and social aspect. So we know that they thrive when they're given choice. We let them choose what they read, so we thought, why don't we let them choose where they sit? So we decided to try it. It's the first year that we've implemented it, and we did lots of research before we jumped in. We have purchased a lot of the things that you see. We have a bungee chair, we have stools, we have cushions that we brought. There are wobble cushions that are supposed to help just let them move a little bit instead of being in the hard desk all day. A lot of our students last year, it was a tough year, and we know that they needed to move, and we didn't allow that enough, and we kept saying, sit in the seat, sit in the desk, and they could have used some of this stuff. So we also have balls, the exercise balls. We have a gamer chair that rocks. What else do we have? We have
all different types of, like a butterfly type chair, bean bags. We have cushions that they can pull out and sit on the floor. A lower table where they can just kneel at the table. Just all different types of options for them to choose from.
And we kind of talked about too, when we're at home grading or doing work, we don't sit at a desk. We sit on the couch or on the floor or in a chair. So we thought the kids might enjoy that as well. So it's our first year implementing it. We did do a grant through Donors Choose. We asked people to donate to us, and they did, and helped us furnish some of these things. And it's definitely been a learning experience. We know that we have to have very clear expectations. We've had to be more strict than we have ever had to be before, and it's really changed the way that we teach, because the way that the room is set up really allows for a lot of movement, so we try to get them out of their seats all the time. We have students, we also have 2 standing desks, and we have lots of students that really benefit from the standing desk, because if they need to pace around or if they just can't sit anymore, especially 5th period after they've been sitting all day long, the standing desks really work well for that. The students are starting to get used to it, and we've had to make some adjustments. There's one class that we have to have a seating chart for, because they don't know exactly best how to sit in the seats. There's lots of modeling, lots of trial and error, but they are starting to be able to verbalize where they learn the best. They can self-advocate for their learning. We've had some come say, hey, I think I really need to sit in a desk, and there are still some that prefer the desk. We've had some that can say, I need to be able to move, can I please stand, or can I get on the bouncy ball? And it's kind of fun to see that happening, because they're starting to advocate for themselves. And we've used surveys. We have quite a few surveys that we've done. Well, one, but I mean, we have one from everyone. And they can tell us where, and we conferenced with them today actually and asked them their top 2 seat choices. So when we do have to make a seating choice or a seating arrangement for them, we take that into account. So they're still picking their smart seat, but we're kind of choosing where that is. And we do have more pictures. That's more of the room. And then these are the kids actually using the seats appropriately. And there are more. Okay, and then these are some of the kids that have been able to really verbalize how the seating has helped them. So it helps me because I'm usually tired at the end of the day, so my standing desk helps me. I sit on the ball. It helps me because I can move and concentrate. If I'm still, I get distracted. And this is one that is constantly moving. The standing desk helps because when I have a lot of energy, I like to move around. With the standing desk, I could do that. And I like how it's bouncy, not hard like a desk. I learn best when I'm active, like bouncing, not just sitting in a desk. And we've gotten lots of feedback from the students that they are enjoying it. And we've given them choice and tried to take the active learning approach instead of just passively sitting in a desk. Do you all have any questions?
I had the opportunity to go into your classroom this summer when you were getting ready to
Yes.
start, and I really enjoyed that little tour and
Thank you.
seeing all the different options for the students. I know Mr. Drescher got a standing desk, and he seems to be learning much
Oh, that's cool.
Going well, isn't it?
Here for me to pay attention.
Good. Yes.
It was really interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know how you can validate if they're learning better compared to last year's scores, and I'm sure there's a way to see if there's any improvement.
We're hoping that there, and just, I think even just the things that we've been able to do and the ways in which they're interacting now, I think that's helping increase their learning too. We've seen some richer discussions. They're easily able to pair up and get in groups and move around. And last year we were kind of confined to where the desks would move. And I think just through that, their collaboration with one another has been enriched. So I'm hoping that will translate into higher test scores and better.
More of a learning curve for you all than for the students, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely. But even we were just talking, some of them don't know how to handle not sitting at a desk. I mean, it's new to them, so it's lots of modeling and lots of, hey, redirection all the time, because they don't, and the ones that need it the most are the ones that are struggling a little bit with it, because they just don't know. They've never had it before, so it's been fun though. Yeah. Any other questions?
Are you finding that you have to adjust your presentation style?
Yes.
So that you're not with a focus or an audience, you have to move and talk at the same time.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
And we've been moving around more. Yes. And it's been, we're trying to make it a lot more student-centered. So, and we every day are trying to work in, how are we going to get them doing the talking and the learning, and so that we're not just standing at the front of the room talking. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Webster, Ms. Sullenberger.
Thank you.
Thanks for being willing to take a risk, do something
welcome.
new and different, and being creative. It's a big, big deal in education, is to be able to do something different for our kids. Thank you very much.
And if it works well, we may investigate doing it. And
We have several other people experimenting too
good.
throughout the division. We've got a lot of those balls around, and
good.
some of the other types of desks, standing desks going on. So I don't know if we have a whole class doing it the way you guys are doing it though. So very neat. Very neat.
Thank you.
You taking away chairs from everybody down at the central office?
We actually have one. We actually have one person that sits on a ball. Denise sits on a ball during
Does she
about half
really?
the time. Yeah.
I'd be afraid of falling off.
I couldn't sit very long.
Disability History and Awareness Month. Mr. Hirsch.
Madam Chairman, Mr. Superintendent, I relish the opportunity to speak with you again, and in the spirit of individual learning styles and addressing student needs individually, I'd like to share with you something I'm sure you already know, that October has been designated as Disability History and Awareness Month. So I wanted to share a couple things that the school division is doing to celebrate diversity, celebrate disability, and celebrate students' individual needs. A group of young people with disabilities, alumni of the Virginia Board of People with Disabilities Leadership Forum, which we've sent students to in the past, initiated a resolution that was passed in 2009 that designated October as Disability History and Awareness Month. We could probably go just about every month of the year and pull things up just like this. It was relatively easy to do. So we just went through our October calendar and looked at some things that were highlighted in how we're celebrating diversity and disability. Well, Warren County Public Schools proudly supports the initiative, not only in October, but all throughout the year. And however, the October has some key events throughout the division that illuminate this effort. The first one is the I'm Determined training. It was scheduled for earlier in the month, but it was canceled due to the high water, floods, and whatnot. So it'll be held probably October 19th this month, or maybe November 5th. But what the I'm Determined training is, and we have the opportunity and the privilege to host the Region 4 training through the Department of Education. So we'll be training teachers, administrators, and other related service personnel from all over the region. And they'll be coming to the community center. There's about 80 seats that are available for each school division to send teams to and talk about the I'm Determined initiative. What the Undetermined Initiative is, it's a state-directed project funded by DOE, and we've been doing it for quite some time, which focuses on providing direct instruction and models and opportunities and practice skills for students to help advocate for themselves and help understand and exhibit that self-determining behavior. This project facilitates youth, especially those youth with disabilities, to undertake a measure of control in their lives. We encourage all students to participate in their IEP meetings, advocate for themselves, understand what the goals and objectives of their IEP is, and understand their accommodations, and communicate with teachers and say, wait, my needs aren't being met. This is how I learn, in a respectful and responsible way. And so we focus on teaching staff now how to help students become determined. So it's a great honor to have that here in Warren County, and we're excited to have the professionals from all over the region join us in that training. And I encourage all of you to go, and I'll send an email out with the exact date. Again, it's the 19th of October or November 5th. We're not sure which one DOE will schedule for us.
Is that an evening event?
I'm sorry?
Is that an evening event?
It is not.
Okay.
It's in the morning, from 9 to 12. It's a 4-hour event, 9 to 1. Okay, Tim, thanks. Another thing that is happening in October is the Same Sky Project. The Same Sky Project is a group of people with disabilities from Loudoun County that were determined and advocated for themselves in such a way where they created a 501c3 program and produced a musical. And musical, a lot of the money for the musical is spent on the lights and the show. They're not really making it, well, they're not making any money by definition. They're not profit. And it'll be at Warren County Middle School on the 24th of October. There'll be 2 shows. You're welcome to come to each show. One's at 12:30 and one's at 2 o'clock. We'll be busing our 8th graders from Warren County High School to the 12:30 show, and our 8th graders from Skyline High School to the 2 o'clock show to participate with the 6th graders at the 12:30 show and the 7th graders at the 2 o'clock show. We've also invited many community partners, such as Front Royal Christian School, the Montessori School, the Blue Ridge Educational Center, as well as some other community groups to attend. So I want to cordially invite you. I must say it is a very, very well done production. So we're excited about having that. And Tim, I think it has a movie, has a quick 1-minute slide. Let's see if it works.
Sound.
Does it have music or something with it? Or is it just, does it have sound, do you know?
It does.
Okay.
But you can get the gist of what it is. And they talk about in this particular project that we did last year, they talk about labels and how they want to dispel labels, and you can see how they're not their label. We all live under the same sky.
I'd encourage you, if you can get there, to go to the program. It was amazing. Very nice.
Okay, we have a couple more small things that illustrate what we're doing in October. Tim? We're having a transition event, and this is at the Fellowship Bible Church in Winchester, and it's for Warren County, Frederick County, Clark County, Shenandoah County, and Winchester City, and we're focusing on high school people with students with disabilities, and we're talking about transition. We're talking about time, money management, considering options, setting goals, and getting kids ready to go off to the world of work. So that's an exciting event that's highlighted also in October, and another regional event. We partner quite closely with our partners. And the last thing I want to talk about, I believe, is a preschool family fun night on October 19th from 6 to 7:30 at the community center. And all our preschoolers with disabilities and the models, and the students, their non-disabled peers that are in their programs, the parents are invited to a preschool fun night. We'll have refreshments and painting pumpkins, not cutting, and and just celebrating the season. So again, this wasn't put on for anybody's benefit. This is kind of what we're doing every month, but I did want to share what we're doing in October to help bring awareness to some of our most fragile population. Have any questions? Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurd.
World of Work. Mrs. Baker.
Greetings. I have something I'd like to share. Fresh
Thank you.
off the press. Plays with the old mimeograph.
Doesn't smell.
Doesn't smell the same.
You can definitely smell them. Next week, we, as in Warren County and our 7 sister school systems, will have, once again this year, the World of Work. This is where we take over the Sportsplex at Kernstown, and we have industry and business members. If you look on the back of what I gave you, there's a list of exhibitors that will be there. And we bring in over 3,000 students. Last year, it was in the neighborhood of 3,000. This year, we're actually increasing the number a little in that we are also having some private schools come in. Our sister school up on the hill, Randolph-Macon, will be participating as well. So we're starting to expand a little bit in what we do. And I don't know if you remember, but this is a result of the fact that 7th grade students are now required by state to start an academic and career plan. This is our way to motivate those students to look at what is available. And when you look through the booklet, each student gets one of these booklets. They were delivered today to the middle school. The teachers have the opportunity to review them, to talk to the students about careers. Some of their counselors in the schools will also work with them. The after-school program has the opportunity to talk with the students as well. You see different jobs that are highlighted, career paths that are highlighted in here, and the opportunity for the students then next week, which our students will be there the morning of the 13th, and I invite all of you to come. Please see what's going on. They will do and have all kinds of experiences, be exposed to things that they probably haven't thought of. We have the Walmart Distribution Center out of Mount Crawford is going to have a trailer truck there that students will actually be allowed to crawl up and see what the inside looks like, to talk with the drivers there about training. We'll have representatives from Valley Health there. We've got student nurses there. Students will be able to practice CPR. They'll be able to work with animals, because we've actually got some mini horses and calves and all of those nice farm animals that will be coming in. We've got people from public service. Our own Warren County Sheriff's Department will be there. We'll have the state police there. Like I said, it's a wonderful time for students to engage in the opportunity to dream and to think about what is out there and what is available to them. So again, I invite you to this. We will use some of our Perkins money to help fund this. We get donations from the community to help fund this. And it runs us about $38,000 when everything is put together. So it is a joint effort, and none of us could do this by ourselves. So it's the beauty of being able to work in cooperation with those that are around us. Any questions?
What is the date again?
Warren County will be there on the morning of the 13th. They'll be there from 9:15 to 11:15. But we split it into the 2 days into 4 parts. We do set up on Tuesday afternoon. We'll spend all afternoon up there. Some of our local businesses, Marlowe will be there. They'll bring in the cars and have the scanners, and the students will be able to scan the engines and to see if there are issues. And of course, the batteries won't be hooked up, so they'll hopefully initially pick that one up. But but it really is, it's a wonderful time. And the students will each have a passport, and as they move from world to world, they present their passport and it gets stamped. So at the end of the day, they are able to show the worlds that they've been to. Like I said, our whole idea here is to just plant seeds. We don't expect them to walk out knowing exactly what it is they want to do, but you will have some that will have that aha moment that will be exposed to something that they never even considered. And that's the whole purpose. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent report, Mr. Drescher.
All right. Several things this morning. One, an important time each year is September 30. The state takes their first count of the number of students we have, and that's what our budget is based on. Just to let you know, I believe we have met that budget number, so I'm very excited about that. That's always a little unnerving when you're close, but I think we're there. I'll know more at the end of the week because it takes about a week. They do it September 30th, and it takes about a week to clean all the numbers up, make sure all the kids are out of the system that need to be and new ones entered in. But we needed to be at 5,330, and I think we're a few above that. So we're in good shape. Very good. New middle school planning, just to inform you that staffing for the new middle school is being done right now. We're kind of finishing it up, and so by the end of October, everybody will know where they're going to be, and that's some exciting times. Where most of the staffing is going to come from the existing middle school and the 2 high schools where the 8th grade teachers are. Mm-hmm. So that will be the majority of places will come. People will come from there. Ressie Jeffries, just to let you know that some of the project components have been done, as we've reported before. AC in the gym, water conservation parts are installed in all the water fixtures. We are waiting for the Department of Environmental Quality to give their final approval. It does take some time. The process, though, is pretty much now in the hands of all the construction companies involved. You know, everything, all the permissions are in except for DEQ. The things have been signed that need to be signed about going ahead, and we're excited to see that work get started. So we're looking at probably in November when it will really get up and rolling. So we might see a few things before then. So just wanted to let people know that. We've reported in the past about tower gardens. They have been delivered thanks to the Rotary Club of Front Royal and our partner Sodexo. They're in each school, and we actually have one here at the central office as well, so please stop in and see our lettuce and tomatoes. They're already growing, so we look forward to some salads here in November. So, along with what Mr. Hurst mentioned with October is also Bullying Prevention Month, as it is each year. And while this month is dedicated to bringing attention to our anti-bullying efforts, I want everyone to rest assured that we are actively helping all of our students treat each other with kindness and respect every day. We have 2 major programs within our schools: positive behavior intervention supports, which involves plans school-wide to help students with behaviors, and the tiered system of supports, that Virginia is asking each school to work with, which works on academic needs of students as they have academic difficulties. So we have things in place all the time. So that's the core of what we're doing. We also have many, many programs, and they have been reported on in the past, but I just want to mention a couple of them. We have an I'm Happy program that is a bullying prevention program that we work with. We have the Virginia Foundation of Healthy Youth, which works with the Warren Coalition to provide drug prevention programs throughout the school. We have Above the Influence, which is also another program at our middle and high schools on drug prevention. We have anger management groups. We have the Right Turn program to help students that have had difficulty with drugs or alcohol. The Not on Tobacco program. You can see there's many programs that we have that we've partnered with the coalition and others to help all of our students behave in the way that they should, and when they don't, try to give them supports. So it's an ongoing thing. I hope you'll remember from the beginning of the year we have a system-wide focus on expressing gratitude. Being able to say thank you is actually a very high-level emotional skill. And so we're trying to help all of our students practice this throughout the year. And one of the things I've asked schools to do is to give me some of examples of their students expressing gratitude. And I'd like to read a couple of those tonight. This is from Kaylee, and she said, "I want to thank Mrs. Rust, helping me to be a better student. Thanks for teaching me new things, and thanks for encouraging me." So it was just a nice note she wrote her teacher. This one's from Emma, and she wants to thank another student, Natalie. "Thank you for helping me with math. You are good at helping me work out problems." That was pretty nice. And then this is one that a student, this came from E. Wilson Morrison, and a student it's from a first grader, and wrote a note to the office staff. She said, and it says on this, spelling has been corrected. So it says, "Hi, every teacher. You taught us wonderful things this year, and I love it. There is nothing else I can ask for than this school. I love this school. Here at E. Wilson Morrison, we roar, respect, organize, appropriate, and responsible. We are the largest family in Warren County." Pretty nice. So, neat stuff. The idea of expressing gratitude is something we can all practice, and we're committed to doing that throughout the school year. LFK does a neat activity annually, Bring Your Dad to School. And it's an activity day where it's an opportunity for fathers to come into school. This year on September 16th, they had 260 dads come in and spend their day. So pretty neat. It's pretty neat, and it's a very eye-opening experience for a lot of dads. Also this week, I did a report to the Board of Supervisors, as I do on a quarterly, every quarter. And one of the things I like to remind everyone, and I take the opportunity at the Board of Supervisors meeting, is that schools have a multitude of roles. We don't just do reading, writing, and arithmetic. And how I described it to the Board of Supervisors, and I'd just like to say it here, is that schools are a multifaceted conglomerate of programs and processes that goes far beyond just the basic teaching that I mentioned. We feed students, which for far too many is the best meal and maybe the only meal they get each day. We take care of bumps and bruises, both physically and emotionally. We guide our adolescents through the changes of puberty and other physiological changes, which are very traumatic for many. We counsel our youth as they deal with hardships and heartaches or make significant life choices. We intervene when family systems break down or are non-existent. We're successful almost all the time. And when we're not, we figure out ways we can do better. Now, we cannot do this by ourselves. We do this because we're part of our community. Our government leaders, our agencies work with us. The faith community works with us. Private business and individuals are part of our schools on a daily basis. State programs and yes, even federal programs support our schools. And what I finally ended up with them was that quality public schools are an economic driver in our community. The entire community benefits when our schools are excellent. As always, we do what's in the best interest of our students, and that equates to what's in the best interest of our community as a whole. So I like to keep that message in front of everyone that schools are an integral part of what our community is, and the excellence that we have are part of what the excellence of our community. So just wanted to share that with you guys as well.
Thank you.
And that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Treasurer. School board reports, Mrs. McKeithron?
I had the pleasure of going and touring the middle school. It's coming along really quickly, and it's really big. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, we have so much to be proud of here in Warren County. I mean, it just blows my mind when I think about it. There's a lot more great things to come, but I'm just proud to be a part of this community and everything that's happening and all the help that we get.
Thank you. Mr. Wells?
Just like our presentations this evening, presentations from the superintendent, the diversity of the things that we're doing, and including construction, building, for our students' benefit and that kind of thing. Just kind of, our superintendent sums it up quite often. Good stuff. Good stuff. And it is.
Good, thank you. Mr. Williams?
Yes, I had the opportunity to speak to a first-time brand-new school teacher, just graduated last year. He's in Warren County now, and he was so excited. You could just see it in his eyes when he spoke. He said, I got turned down 3 other places because I didn't have any experience. And he said, how am I going to get it? So he was very grateful to you, young man, for saying yes and coming on. But it was so nice just to hear this young man so excited about teaching in Warren County. And, of course, he's not from here, lives here now. And it was funny. He said, I try to make sure when I go out in the evening I look nice. And he pulled his shirt down, and I was like, believe me, people will know who you are, young man, so always do the right thing. But it's nice to see brand new people working with our school system that are that excited. He was so excited to be here. The other thing, I'll just echo Ms. McKeithron, yes, that new middle school is something else. I got to tour it with Ms. Bauer and Mr. Drescher. Hopefully, maybe the alternative seating will work out well. We could add that to the new school because it sounds very interesting. I think a lot of children are antsy, nervous energy, want to move. If you can get them up moving a little bit, I think it will help with keeping them focused on what they're doing. So I'd love to hear how it ends this year. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also just report on the tour of the new middle school. It was a muddy day. It was right after all the rain. I seemed to do well at preventing myself from getting too much mud on my slacks, but Mr. Williams was a little bit of a mess by the end of the morning. And the alternative seating, I'm watching us sitting up here, and we're spinning and we're bouncing. So, there's something to being able to move and not having to sit so stationary. So thank you for your presentation. Action agenda, approval of 2016-17 Gifted Advisory Committee. Mrs. Myers.
Well, good evening. This is an annual event, it seems, to come before you to ask for your approval of the yearly Gifted Advisory Committee. The Virginia regulations governing educational services for gifted students state that each school division may establish a local advisory committee composed of parents, school personnel, and other community members who are appointed by the school board. The Warren County Public Schools local plan for the education of the gifted 2015 to 2021 includes a plan for the establishment of a local advisory committee. The Warren County School Board should appoint members by considering the attached list, and you have a list of nominations that's attached to this. You may appoint additional or other members if you choose to do so. So I would just ask that you take a look at the list and hopefully approve that unless there's someone else that you would like to add to the list.
Fighting with you?
I'm just trying to get my computer to...
It's fighting.
Okay. Still not.
The list.
It's just not, it's not coming up. I did, twice.
Do you want to look at my paper copy?
Oh, I did
Okay.
look at it
Okay.
previously, yes. Yep. Is there a motion?
Yes, I would move that the list of nominations for Warren County Public Schools Gifted Advisory Committee for 2016-2017 be approved for appointment.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It disappeared. Get back up here. Acceptance of donation, Mr. Drescher.
Mr. Terry Heder, Director of Interpretation, Education, and History for the Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation, has donated DVDs on Stonewall Jackson's 1862 Valley Campaign, and we are thankful for that.
Okay, thanks. I seem to be getting stuck on here. It's not moving. No, that's, that's okay. That's all right.
We just need a motion.
Okay, could I have a motion, please?
Sure. I move that the donation of DVDs on Stonewall Jackson's 1862 Valley campaign by Mr. Terry Heder, Director of Interpretation, Education, and History for the Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation be accepted with gratitude.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of security grant funds. Mr. Grant.
Good evening. Warren County Public Schools has been awarded $61,269 through the Virginia Department of Educational School Security Equipment Grant Program. The money from this grant will go towards purchasing security equipment for A.S. Rhodes Elementary School, E. Wilson Morrison Elementary School, Hilda J. Barber Elementary, Ressie Jeffries Elementary, and Warren County Middle School. The security equipment we plan to purchase with these funds will include indoor and outdoor cameras, a media storage server for all of the above mentioned elementary schools, a key card reader for one extra door, both at E. Wilson and LFK, to allow for secure building access. And we also have plans to purchase and install a repeater and antenna system for the Warren County Middle School to boost the two-way radio signal within the school. A local match of 25% is required to receive full funding. You have any questions?
Will this get us up to where we should be with all of our security?
Yes.
Because I know it's just limited to a few
As
schools.
far as what the principals requested, we'll be short just a couple of cameras, but we'll be very close.
Okay, great. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move approval for Warren County Public Schools to accept the Virginia Department of Education School Security Grant in the amount of $61,269.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Grant.
Thanks.
Stay where you are.
That's more money.
Request for spending over $50,000.
We are in the process of expanding our wide area network fiber to extend to the new middle school for the opening of the 2017-2018 school year for our new middle school. Warren County Public Schools would like to construct a fiber route between LFK and the new middle school, and this will allow connectivity for the new middle school to access our wide area network. We have been working with the town of Front Royal Electric Department and the town attorney to attach to town poles through, or to come up with a plan to attach to town poles through our original pole line agreement. The project is utilizing construction funds allocated for technology purchases to support the new middle school construction. And we are using a cooperative procurement contract through the town of Front Royal to purchase these items and services. The total cost of this project is $91,195.30. You have any questions?
91 or 93?
Yeah, I said.
91 or 93, yeah.
Sorry?
3?
93,195.
Sorry, 93,000.
Okay.
I just dyslexic real quick.
All right.
To see if you're just going to read it. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move approval to expand the existing fiber network to the new middle school in the amount of $93,195.30.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Is there any further business? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.